And welcome everybody to the Fandom Zone. It is I, General Zod, and tonight, welcome to the late night talks, the late night weekends. I'm kind of kicking everything off a little bit earlier, going a little bit earlier than I normally go because the villain has to work in the morning. So, welcome everybody to the greatest spectacle on YouTube. We got a great bunch of topics to talk about tonight. It's interesting. When I work, there seems to be a whole bunch of stuff that happens over the weekend. Some stellar news stories that I may not get to cover. So some of this may be new news in YouTube verse time. It might be older news, but I'm still going to put my own satirical spin on it. So we're going to talk about a lot of great stuff. I got a couple of topics, going to talk about the new Mulan movie and how it is being released. I'm gonna give my thoughts on this because I've been meaning to comment on this article all week. Timon Flip, welcome. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you here in the fandom zone. Yeah, we got some great stuff planned. We're gonna talk about the Mulan movie, what I feel about it, how I feel. It's absolutely disgusting, corporate tactic. I don't like it. I don't like how they're choosing to release that, and I don't have a problem with VOD, but I'll get into that when the rest of the crew arrives. I kick things off a tad bit earlier than I normally do because I got to work at 5. Also, I'm going to be talking about doing a comparison tonight between Star Trek and Star Wars. Which one is heading for the crapper, and which one might redeem itself? That should be a very interesting discussion. Also, I am going to talk about Robin Williams. Some new information surfaced that I think is going to be very interesting. I think you guys will get a good kick out of it. And of course, I never wanted to bring this up. I never wanted to talk about it again. I thought I was done talking about her, but we have new information on Captain Marvel 2. It's actually from credible sources. The Hollywood Reporter, Entertainment Weekly. The credited news people have broke some new stuff that is quite interesting. So I'm going to be talking about that and Scream, a franchise I thought was dead. Back in the 90s, when I was a kid, I remember when Scream 1 came out. This movie, most people forget, changed horror. And what I mean by changing horror was it was the first movie before all these other movies came out that actually poked fun of the genre and a lot of the different cliches that were in horror movies at the time. Not very many people know that Scream, when it first came out, within itself changed horror and how things were done in horror movies. And now it is coming back. And I'm going to talk to you guys about how I feel about a reboot, so to speak, of the Scream franchise in 2020. Uh, I got a lot of mixed feelings, but there's some people signed on for it. So it's going to be very interesting night. I got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. So I guess let me get to some of my topics that that I want to cover tonight. Some stuff I want to talk about. And I guess the biggest thing that I want to address first is what up, uh Lemon Pie. Good to see you. I've seen you before. Um what up, Jamie Vick? Good to see you. So anyways, uh I want to talk about first. The first thing I want to bring up is going to be this release of Mulan. And hopefully, PB, because I see you in the comments, he says he'll be here shortly. But before he gets here, I want to talk about and give my own feelings on this Mulan release. So, if you guys don't know, A lot of these movies, okay, a lot of movies have not been able to come out. They haven't been able to come out because of the fact that the coronavirus has pushed back remakes. PB, you don't have a say until you jump into this. Anyways, uh a lot of these movies, and I'm not exclusively or mutually talking about just Disney, just movie in generals, they haven't been able to release any of them in theaters. And so the movies that the companies do not have confidence in, and I say this wholeheartedly because I've seen the shit that has come on on demand, some of it was good, most of it has been shit. And a lot of these movies I feel like would not have done well had they been in the theater. I actually think video on demand has boosted the popularity and the markability of some of these movies. I mean, I watched Artemis Fowl. Don't do it. It's a fucking terrible movie. I didn't even bother doing a review on it, but I will say that some of these movies would have never, ever done good in the theater, I don't believe. I think video on demand has helped them, but Mulan's kind of different. They put a lot of money in it. To be honest with you, I was actually looking forward to seeing this. But then Disney made a very odd call, and they decided instead of pushing it back, they were going to release it on uh, VOD. Now, not just VOD, but they are also putting it on Disney Plus. And here's the kicker. You already pay for Disney Plus, but they are charging an extra $30 for this. So I want to read this article and then you guys give me your thought. And I feel like this is the biggest slap in the face to people who actually watch these movies. Or I don't know. I'm just going to get into this article. You guys give me your opinions, but it says Mulan's move to Disney Plus proves how quickly the pandemic forever changed entertainment. I think that's a terrible title considering what they're talking about. This is from the 6th of August, and it's how everything seemed to change in the last 6 months. This is from The Verge 5 months ago, and I and many people declared that despite Universal's Troll World Tour skipping theaters to premiere digitally, the idea of Disney exploring the same route with a big blockbuster like Mulan was preposterous. But we were all wrong. I thought the same thing. I very much sided with everyone thinking that that would not be a possibility, especially considering how much money they poured into this. But anyways, Mulan is regarded as one of Disney's biggest films of the year that will premiere exclusively on Disney Plus in the United States and other countries where Disney Plus is available. The film will cost an additional, so not, it does not come with your subscription. So you pay for your subscription and it will cost an additional $30, which people will own as long as they have Disney Plus. So, I think that before I go any further, I want to say that is shitty because don't get me wrong, Disney Plus out of all the streaming services is probably the cheapest or one of the cheapest ones, but they are going to charge you $30, right? Let's just say that would be the price of a Blu-ray 4K or somewhere along that lines. Okay, I'm trying to think of the most expensive Blu-ray because I'm thinking it's even more than a Blu-ray of a new release. So, right, you pay $30, and right in this sentence it says you get to keep it as long as you have Disney streaming service. So, if you should decide that you don't no longer want Disney Plus, right? For whatever reason, you're like, this sucks. I already got this shit on DVD, whatever the case may be, right? You decide you don't want the service. You paid $30 for this movie. It what goes away. because you no longer have Disney Plus. Because from how I'm reading this, it sounds like to me, if you get rid of the service, you will lose the movie. And thankfully, PB can weigh in on this. So, PB, before we continue this article, what do you think of this bullshit about Mulan streaming? I know you're not a fan of remakes. I'm just talking about how they're marketing this in general.
Oh, you stole my line. Like, I know you're not a fan of remakes. Well, what the fuck am I supposed to say now? I will say something similar to what I said on Wednesday when I was talking about this with Perp. It doesn't surprise me that they would charge an extra fee for the movie because it was supposed to be in theaters and now it's coming out either on video on demand or on Disney Plus. But I would have thought that if you were watching it on Disney Plus, you would have got some type of discount. So let's say the video on demand one was $30. I would have thought the Disney Plus one half, 15, because
Yeah,
for something like
yeah.
that they spent, I don't know the exact amount of money, but from, if my memory serves me properly, which it probably fucking won't, I'm pretty sure that this remake is the most expensive remake that Disney has made to date.
This whole thing is an odd move. I never like to side with like the magazines or the critics, that we both are, unless it's DC. Well, me personally, I shell for them. I don't know about your feelings, but anyways, we don't
What's the
typically.
show?
Yeah, for you, it's what's the show? Is it a connected universe? I'll shell for it, but no. Um, Here's the thing, though. This is odd, and I agree with them because all of the money you pour in, even if they're going to go what seems to be the bending us over as consumers route, right? That still, to me, doesn't seem to even come close to making up what the budget for this film would have been, because it was like 200 million or something like that. I think even
Yeah,
more
it's
because of the whole
extravagant.
production. Yeah, it was they poured a lot into this remake. So it baffles my mind that like James Bond, which has been plagued with issues, would still wait for its theater date, but Disney, who could in every sense of the word wait for the remake, does not want to wait for this film. Now, it means one of two things. Either they don't have confidence that people are going to show up for this, or they are in some kind of financial bind and they just want to fucking get their money for any of these projects. Which way or would you be leaning?
I always lean towards the money, so probably the second one if those are my only two options. They're
And
trying to recoup as much money as possible because they were planning on this movie making at least as much as Aladdin did, and they were hoping that it was going to make as much as the Lion King remake and make me want to blow my fucking brains out because fuck all these remakes. Okay, I got it out.
I knew you were waiting to say that. Do you want to read what Lemon Pie said? Because I agree with this statement 100%.
Lemon Pie says, sounds more like a rental than a purchase. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is, because at least from the article that I halfway read, I read it the General Zod way. I perused the article. I'm pretty sure that when you download it or whatever, you pay your 30 freaking dollars. My God. And then you get it for, I believe, 48 hours and then it disappears. Like, are you
Yep.
fucking kidding me?
Well, if
Like, I
you,
paid
from how I'm
$30
reading
for it.
this,
I better have half a dozen people in my house because then we can split the cost. Somebody bring nachos.
no, from what I hear, Okay, so here's the highlight of the article, and I'm just gonna read a bit more, but it says the film will cost an additional $30, which people will own as long as they are Disney Plus subscribers. So this serves as two things. It serves as one, getting additional money on top of the fucking service fee,
No, right.
but
You're essentially for the Disney Plus, you're paying $30 to get early access because it was going to be put on Disney Plus at some point in the future when it was out of theaters. Like that was the original plan. So now you're paying $30 to get early access on Disney Plus. Whereas if you're doing the video on demand and you don't have Disney Plus, which somebody out there is going to do it because they're weird, they're gonna pay $30 and they're gonna have it for a weekend.
well, no, from what I heard, from how I'm reading this, the people on Disney Plus who pay the $30 to rent buy it, they will own it so long as they keep their Disney Plus subscription. So this
Obviously, you would have to have the subscription guy. You
n-
didn't listen to the transition in my point when I said the people who use the only video on demand services where it gets released.
oh
It's like a
uh,
pay-per-view. You're doing a pay-per-view download for a weekend and then it's going to disappear.
here,
It's
yep.
not like you are paying for UFC 2 billion because I assume that's where they're going to end up eventually. And then you can record it on your DVR if you had a satellite or something like that. Like that's what I did back in the day. I have a couple of them saved on my DVR. That's not what you're going to be able to do with this. It's going to be whatever service you're using, either through your computer or through your frickin' Chromecast or your Roku. Not endorsed products here in the fandom zone. Just saying their names to make it easy. Like it's going to be on whatever app you're using on those devices for 48 hours and then gone forever if you're not a Disney Plus subscriber.
And I want to just talk about the differences here. The differences between like Disney, and let's talk about me and Stevie J's favorite director. If you guys know Stevie J reviews, shameless plug, check us out this Sunday. We'll be talking about a great underrated horror movie, Wolf Creek. Anyways, Stevie J reviews, or just I guess he changed his name. I'm still
It's
gonna call you
Stevie
Stevie.
J Raw.
Oh yeah. I'm still gonna do reviews because we're fucking reviewing stuff. And you know what? If you can hear me, Stevie, escape the dingoes and come on over. But anyways,
Dude, I swear
uh
to God that all of those, Stevie and Jay, there's got to be some point in the past where Vince McMahon said those words because I know he said Monday Night Raw. So you can splice those other two words together. Boom, intro.
so here's my issue that I think that he would agree with me with. Take Christopher Nolan, right? Financing this new movie Tenet. He's got a
Ooh.
film studio backing him, but for the most part, this is Christopher Nolan's money, right? So you would think Christopher Nolan, who's basically privately making films at this point because he's like a Spielberg, right? He's made enough money to where he can put together his own movies the way he wants to. You would think someone like that would be hurt by delays, right? So they hear about video
Dude,
on demand, and he's like, I'll just get my fucking product out because I love my movie. I want it to make money. But he has so much confidence. He delayed his movie again because he fucking believes it's gonna blow our minds. And I know Christopher Nolan. It's
so
it's gonna
not
blow our
to
minds.
not to shit on your point, but even when he was working for the alleged taskmasters that are Warner Brothers Studios, he still made the Batman movies the way that he wanted to.
Oh
You want
yeah,
to know how
yeah.
I know that for a fact? Because none of them are in 3D.
No, no. Christopher Nolan is one of those true directors who believes in shooting shit in regular format. He's very old school. He's a real artist. But my point being is that you can tell studio movies from people who are passionate about making films. Christopher Nolan has enough confidence in his product where he's like, Corona, fuck it. I'll write it out until the theater opens up because my movie is going to be A, in a great position because no one else is going to be out, and B, I have faith people are going to go and see my movie. Now, you have Disney who throws a ton of fucking money behind their movies, right? Makes billions of dollars. You would think they would have the confidence to take another movie and try this format, but they take arguably one of their most expensive remakes they've ever done. I mean, they fucking went to China. They got real authentic set pieces. I mean, I've been following this because I've been
They
interested to
went
see
to
this
China
movie.
and got real Chinamen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a real authentic Chinese cast, the whole deal, right? So they shelled out a lot of money. So you would think that they would want to take another movie and
Wait,
try
wait,
this
wait.
strategy.
Hold on a second. Let me make sure I got this right. Disney took a giant pile of cash, went to China to get a whole bunch of Chinamen to make a movie, but they couldn't take a small pile of cash to get one Chinaman for the Eternals?
PB, you know my feelings on this. I don't even
Triggered
want to
much?
address that. I don't even want to get into that issue because
Okay,
that
how
just
about you
really.
answer this question
But yeah,
from
basically.
Timon Flip?
Oh, he says at General Zod's Phantom Zone, in the you in the US, how much did it cost to rent a DVD closer to the end of physical rental era? For me, was at max a third of a cinema ticket. Yeah, I'd say maybe less than
I
that. For us,
mean,
it's what, like three
you can
bucks.
still rent DVDs, can you not?
I mean, yeah, with Redbox, it's like
Yeah,
one
you
ninety
just
nine
go to
for
the
some,
Red
and like,
Box, it's a effing dollar.
oh, comic chat. What's up, comic
What is
chat? It's good
up,
to
comic
have you.
chat? I see he doesn't want to talk to the ginger bigot. Sad.
I'm sorry about that, man. Comic books, Zod, people identify with. No, fuck, I'm sorry. We're talking about Brie Larson. I started using buzzwords. Um, we're
That
gonna be talking
happens.
about her tonight. Oh God, I got some juicy stuff, but we'll get
What?
into that. Oh yeah,
Did I
oh
skip
yeah.
over that article? I thought I looked at all the articles, like I reacted to a whole bunch of them.
Oh man, wait
Oh,
until you
yeah, I
see this
guess we
one.
are. That was the director. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, you saw the next one though, right? I don't want to give it away for the fans. I want them with a little wait because it's gonna be hilarious when we get into this. I can't wait to see what you're gonna say about this. But
Oh God,
anyways,
the peanut gallery is coming back in the house. This ought to be good.
so here's the thing, right? My whole point about this is that um I think that this is a shitty deal for everybody who is a Disney Plus subscriber. And my reason for this is if you're paying for a service, right? And look, Amazon does this too. Amazon will have movies that are not part of Amazon Prime. You actually got to pay or rent for them or buy them. But the difference is they offer those movies that are ones that you can't get through Amazon Prime because they're owned by someone else. Like they got Disney movies on there or DC movies. They own the rights to sell them, but they can't show them for free because they're on like DC Universe or something like that. So they don't have the exclusive streaming rights. They just have the distribution rights. So that I understand. But it's fucking Disney Plus putting on a Disney movie. So if you have people who are paying, instead of charging them an extra $30, maybe just give it to the streaming people who have the thing for a I'm not going to say for free because that's unrealistic, but for a reduced price, like you were saying, right? Because that entices more people to go to your streaming service because they're like, hey, on demand is has it for 30, but Disney Plus has it for 15, and I get to keep it as long as I have the service. So I have it before anybody else, right? Before it comes out on DVD, I have it forever as long as I have Disney Plus. And I think that's what they were going for, but they were also fucking greedy and decided to do 30 extra dollars. Why the fuck would you want to do that? I'd rather wait for it to come out on DVD, have the fucking 4K, and pay the same price and own a physical copy than if I get rid of my Disney Plus subscription, I no longer have the movie. It's fucking ridiculous. So I don't know. That's just my feelings on the whole thing. What up, Stone Cold Jeremy? And what up, Mr.
Sorry, I was trying to send a tweet and I was on mute and couldn't get back to Chrome.
But yeah, what do you think? I think the whole thing is disrespectful.
Dude, I
I think
already told you what I thought about this cash grab. Just go buy Cecil's comic.
I 100% agree with you. And Comic Chat says, PB, no disrespect. I never streamed with you, but Zod and I have a history with the Power stream. Zod, are you ready for Power 2? It's next month. Comic Chat, I will be there watching it. I won't guarantee you
Oh,
I'm going to like it because book 2 looks like it'll be interesting, but we'll see. We'll see if that kid's acting gets any better. But anyways, that's going to be a chat for another day. Um, but PB, what I mean
I
is,
agree. I don't
do
watch
you
that show.
do you think it would have been better? It would have been better to go with like the model you said, and instead of doing $30, give people a reason to stay with your streamer. Because right now, what is the problem Disney has? They don't have enough original content. This could have been a great hook.
No,
And
they
for me,
try to pull people in with their nostalgia box.
yeah. And right here, someone in marketing fucked up because they had the greatest hook, right? This could have been a great way to not only get people, but keep people by saying, hey, we'll give you Mulan for like $10, right? Or $15 or whatever. It'll be cheaper than video on demand. You get to own it. The only catch is you got to stick with our service, right? So now you get new people in and they're going to stay because they buy this. The only way they can keep this copy is by staying with their service. It would have been a great hook, and I think they wasted it. It's a crying shame, but yeah, that's it. That's just my feelings. Anyways, I think we talked enough about that. We're going to move on to the thing you've been waiting for, PB. We are going to talk about tonight, and I'm glad I got 7 people watching. Chat, this is going to be an interactive moment for you guys. I'm going to pose a question to everybody in chat right now. Are you a Star Trek fan or a Star Wars fan? Because I've got 2 very competing articles. One is on Star Trek, one is on Star Wars. Now you're probably saying, Lee, well, or General
Yeah, but
Zod,
you
what is
left
this?
out Stargate, you dick.
I'm sorry. I consider that in a league of its own because it's actually still
Because
good.
it's the best one.
I want you guys to tell me which one you think is going to disappear first. And I hate to say that. I personally don't think Star Wars. I think it's got a better chance of sticking around. But I'm gonna read some articles, and both franchises are barely hanging on by a thread. And I'm gonna tell you why. So in the comments below, tell me which one do you think is going to survive the long term. And then I'm going to read the articles, and you're going to be surprised by which one is taking the biggest hits. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background for the Star Trek stuff, and
I
then
think
PB
Star
can
Trek
talk
took
about
the
Star
bigger hit.
Wars. Come on, no spoilers, PB.
I
Just tell me
didn't
your
read the
answer.
article, you dick. I was giving my guess before you read.
Well, stop being so smart. No, no,
No,
no,
I
no.
just say
Oh,
because I
okay, good.
watched
Let
Star
me
Trek
lie.
Discovery and I made it one episode in and I was like, this show is trash.
Yeah, I gotta say, I like Discovery the first season because Brian Fuller worked on it, but then he got into a disagreement and left the show, and then I could tell where the writing went downhill. Oh, okay. So we got a lot of people in the chat, PB, who are saying that Star Wars has the more staying power. Um,
Yeah, that's what my guess was. So I agree with them until you read this article and then I'll see if I change my mind.
all right, so we're gonna go right into the article. The first one I want to talk about is for Star
Lemon
Trek.
pie guess the other way.
So, this is some interesting news, and this just recently got published. Um, and it is Star Trek 4 is canceled. So,
Uh,
if you guys don't know, Star Trek was did 1, 2, and 3 by J.J. Abrams. He has
whoa, whoa,
been
whoa.
working
You
on other shit.
mispronounced his last name. It's JJ Lens Flare.
Hey, I like Abrams. Look, I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat. I don't give a fuck. I like J.J.
Oh no,
Abrams,
a guy
but
has an opinion.
but here's the thing. A lot of Trekkies, they were like, "Oh, this isn't my Star Trek because lens flares and Abrams took the characters in interesting directions. Oh my
There's
god!"
too much
But here,
action.
but here's the thing. I think that Abrams, unlike Akiba Goldsman, and we're gonna get into him, but he's a fucking piece of shit. He's ruined the television end of it. And I think that Abrams at least understood the material he was adapting, whereas Akiba Goldsman is like the Ryan Johnson of Star Wars. He just wants to put his own spin and make money off of the franchise and doesn't give a fuck about giving the fans anything that they want. And that is the difference between Abrams and uh, Akiba. So I'm gonna read Star Trek 4 being canceled, and then we're gonna head over to Star Wars and see how its trilogy is doing. So Paramount Star Trek 4 has been canceled according to Deadline. The Hollywood Trade reports that the untitled film, which would have been the fourth in the franchise, which began with 2009's J.J. Abrams directed Star Trek, has been shelved. Director S.J. Clarkson was reportedly signed on to direct now canceled film. Clarkson will direct a pilot for HBO's upcoming Untitled Game of Thrones prequel, which was canceled as well. So this poor bastard is out of work twice. The film, which in one iteration would reportedly have brought back Chris Hemsworth as, or Chris Hemsworth as George Kirk in a time travel adventure, first ran aground in August 2018 when Hemsworth and James D. Kirk actor Chris Pine reportedly exited the film over budgetary issues. The last film in the series, Star Trek Beyond, was released in 2016. So, a nice little short article, but here's the interesting thing. Timon, come on, he is not the Antichrist of film. We all know
No, but
Ryan
I
Johnson
agree with
is.
the second one. Like, how the fuck you gonna put a polar bear on a tropical island?
Oh, I agree. I fucking hate loss. But here's the thing. Uh, the this one was supposed to have Hemsworth and Pine, and I think that would have been great. Like having them both on screen would have been really
Right,
interesting.
that's like Marvel versus DC. Smash them
Oh
together.
yeah, yeah. It would have been awesome. And yeah, this project was canceled. Now let's take a look at the new show Lower Decks just came out. I had a chance to watch
Oh,
it.
it
I
did
hate the
come out?
fucking yeah, I hate to say it.
Hold on,
I
hold on,
agree
hold
with the
on, hold on. I only seen the trailer, and from the trailer that I seen, I saw that it rubbed that Star Wars girl the wrong way. So I was like, I gotta check this out because she's been bitching for half an hour, and she's only made it 10 seconds into the freaking trailer. So I watched the entire thing, and I was laughing my ass off. So was it good?
yeah, yeah, the trailer showed the best parts. The show is not good at all.
Oh,
It wants to be like Family Guy in space. I
oh,
mean, it's not a Star Trek show, and it's not funny with its vulgar jokes. So it's in a weird middle place where it's not really good enough to be like, Family Guy or any of those, but it's not a Star Trek show because it's satire on Star Trek. So it falls in an in between place. And it's only the first episode. I'm going to watch the other ones to see where it goes. But yeah, critics, actual like the top rated critics who have been trying to give Star Trek a pass because of the diversity, um, they had to admit this show is not good at all, and this is the problem that Star Trek faced. This guy is running the franchise into the fucking ground like no one I've ever seen. Like you guys have seen my review on Picard. If you haven't, you can go and check out my playlist. I started out in the first episode intrigued by it. I didn't bash it as hard as everyone else. And by the end, I fucking hated the show. Like, it disappointed me so much. And that's pretty much the sentiment. It's why Brian Fuller, if you guys don't know who he is, he's done a lot of great movies. And he's also made one of the greatest adaptations of Hannibal of all time. Hannibal, one of my favorite shows. And yeah, he exited from Star Trek because he had a disagreement and did not like the direction that
did he
Akiva
run right
Goldsman.
off the track?
Yeah, he did not. Him and Akiva Goldsman, according to a couple of articles, had major issues because Brian Fuller likes to actually use the characters the right way. He likes to pay homage to whatever he's working on. And yeah, he exited after I think even in the middle of the first season of STD, he exited the series. So yeah, so that's the
Are you
Star Trek
seeing me
side.
getting questioned in the chat here? Are you seeing this?
Let me see. Uh,
By Jamie Vick. So I mean, at least it's somebody that it's fair to be questioned by. I can live with that. But I was just a little disappointed that she doesn't believe me that the next generation had the Borg.
yeah, the Next Generation had the Borg. It's a two-part episode called "The Best of Both Worlds." It's
Oh
season
man.
two. Yeah, I'm. You know what's weird? I don't consider myself a Trekkie, but I do know a lot about Next Generation. Like that was
Dude,
my
the
show.
one of the best episodes ever is when they get introduced because it's a Q episode.
Q is one of my favorite characters. I love Q.
Like he's so
Like,
much better on that show than he is on Stargate. I'll give him that
oh,
much.
oh, without a doubt. Like, just it was,
Like Colonel
and
Simmons is a huge douche, but Q is charming.
yes, Q is like
Oh,
that
you don't have to
person. Like,
apologize, Jamie Vick.
Jamie Vick, you never have to apologize on this show. You are like the
No.
person who always comes here, so we appreciate you. Um, but no. So let's go now to Star Wars. Let's see how your Star Wars is doing.
Oh, my Spidey sense went off.
So, now keep in mind, PB, this is gonna hurt your heart. This is from an
What?
even more reputable source. This is from Forbes.
Oh, fuck.
And Travis has done a lot of these articles. This is from January 31st of 2020. So, I
You
mean, this
said
is rather recent he
January?
wrote this. Yeah.
Okay.
So, box office, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker tries to avoid worst 50-day decline ever.
So hopefully in the article it says whether or not it did, considering it's been way more than 50 days.
So Star Wars Rise of Skywalker feels like it has come and gone at this point, with 1917 powering its way to potential Best Picture win at the Oscars. Yes, good luck with that. And Bad Boys for Life claimed the #1 spot. It seems like Rise of Skywalker box office woes are a thing in the past at this point. It turns out, though, that the latest Disney Star Wars film has continued to break box office records, just not the records you want to be breaking. And it could break a huge one uh, with its shortened run. There's no doubt that The Rise of Skywalker has achieved incredible box office milestones. It's one of the highest grossing movies ever, with its 503.5 million domestic gross and 1.049 billion global. It had a December that bested Avatar and all three of the Lord of the Rings films. It had the second best Christmas showing on record. But Rise of Skywalker also quickly stumbled after a strong start. Not only did the Disney film experience less than impressive opening weekend when it opened than its two Star Wars predecessors, only making 177.4 million as opposed to The Force Awakens 248 million, The Last Jedi's 220 million.
225? Oh, I was over. Damn.
But Rise of Skywalker's week over week revenue decline from the total has been much sharper. The fact almost no blockbuster ever has experienced this steep of a drop in the US box office history. Just as a quick recap, Rise of Skywalker week to week domestic run. Week 1, Rise of Skywalker had 177 million and earned at least 175 million its opening weekend. Week 2, 100 million Loser Club and just earned 72.4 million. Week 3, 81% decline from its opening weekend, the third worst showing ever for a movie that made at least 175 million. Week 4, after earning just 15.2, it's the worst fourth weekend drop ever. The only difference is Endgame earned twice as much as its opening, so Endgame dropped that much too. Uh, After an 8.3 million day showing, it sees a 95.2 dip from its opening weekend. Week 6 shows a bit of improvement. It's 5.6 million weekend, and it's only at a 96.8 drop from its opening weekend. Now, as we embark upon Rise of Skywalker's release onto DVD, that means that Disney will need to pull in some decent numbers rather than humdrum weekends that it was used to with its other stuff. If Box Office Mojo projections were correct, Rise of Skywalker pulled at least 3.4 million in its subsequent weeks. That puts the total at 507.2 million with 3.4 million showing would represent a 98.1% drop. And then it showed all the movies. But the whole point being is that the latest movie, the last movie, had one of the worst drops in the history of big budget movies. So it was the first of its kind to have such a sharp drop between weeks and still be in as many theaters as it was in. So Rise of
Within
Skywalker
the
was an
contract. If
Rise
you
of
get the movie, you
Skywalker.
had to keep it there for so many weeks.
Rise of Skywalker was interesting. Okay, so here's the interesting part about this whole thing. The movie end of both Star Trek and Star Wars. Star Wars decided they're going to, and I'm doing air quotes, take a break from making movies, right? And so both of those franchises seem to be suffering in the cinema. And then you have the TV side, right? And Star Wars just came out with a hit show. Everyone
Two of
could
them.
debate with me, but yeah, you could debate with me, but they're both hits, and that's The Mandalorian
And
and
the
the
Clone Wars.
final season of the Clone Wars. Yeah, and then you had Star Trek, which has come out with three new shows, all that
Which
have
are shit.
failed. So, you know, the question is, PB, realistically, and I'm not just saying as a Star Wars fan, just us being analysts and doing what we do you think that Star Trek will die before Star Wars does? Or do you think that both of them have the potential to die? Or do you think that they'll both make a comeback?
I mean, what do you mean by die? As in, nobody ever sees that particular IP having the potential to make money, so they're never willing to invest in another movie or TV show ever again? Is that what you mean by die?
Yeah, we'll start with movies. As far as Star Trek and Star Wars goes, uh, which
Well,
one?
Star Wars already announced more movies, so
Yeah, that
Star
one's
Trek is a
obvious.
leg behind.
Okay, and then as far as shows, which one do you think is going to be the winner of that race?
I mean, as it stands right now, being that the Clone Wars is over, so you can't rely on that, and nobody knows how good that Bad Batch show is going to be. I like The Mandalorian. It does have some issues in it. I mean, I have that one review of episode one up because I was like, these are some glaring physical problems that I can't overlook. It has nothing to do with your interpretation of things. It has to do with this is a thing and now it's not a thing. Like, that's a fucking problem. And I hate it. So I would say that Star Trek probably has a leg up. Like, they have almost a streaming service that is dedicated to their content. Like, it was built around Star Trek Discovery. That was the primary show that they had on their network when they were launching it, what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. I don't remember the exact date.
Yeah, about
All I
it was
remember is
about three
watching the
years ago.
first episode of Star Trek Discovery on regular CBS, and then I was looking for it the next week, and it was gone. I was like, oh, that sucks. But apparently, it was good that it was gone because I didn't waste any time on it, and it was trash.
So yeah, I mean it's really interesting, and it's interesting to see this franchise slowly dying. I never thought that I would be alive to see it dying, and hopefully,
Like, you
they
have CBS All Access. Do they give any watch numbers for their shows the way that Netflix does?
fuck no, no, they're not giving any. they wind up doing that shit at the end, and then who knows how accurate that is. I don't think they're giving us the exact numbers because I refuse to believe that as many people supposedly watch Picard as they're claiming. I
Oh, they
forgot
got
the exact
Picard too.
number, but
You watched it?
I mean, there was a dip though. I feel
You
like
watched
because there
you
was a
watched
dip
every
in my
minute of it.
reviews. Oh yeah, I watched it all the way through, but I refuse to believe that everyone watched it like I did. Like I think they watched the last episodes and
Dude,
the first episodes.
I couldn't even watch the entire first episode. I was like, this is fucking dumb. What is happening? It was like you can
Yeah,
beam into the house, but you can't just beam him out and then you chuck a knife at the boyfriend. What the fuck is going on?
yeah. It was. Here's
There
the
was
thing.
some straight up stupid shit in the first episode, and I was like, God, I love Picard, but the characters and story that they're building around him are not going to hold up with his character.
Yeah, and this is the problem that Trek has is that I feel like Star Wars is trying to course correct. They're trying to they realize they have a problem and they're trying to fix it, whereas Star Trek is still not. And they're getting all these people, but you still got the people higher up who have their own idea. And I'm not one of these people who believe that you necessarily have to follow the Gene Roddenberry playbook of how Star Wars should be, or Star Trek should be. We're in a new era. It's okay to switch it up, people. You don't have to stick with it. The problem is that the stories aren't good. Like, the writing's not good. The writing's fucking terrible. And that is the issue. You can change things, you can tweak lore, but if you don't have someone who could write a good story and have it make sense and at least keep some of what makes Star Trek in there, that's where the problem is. And I noticed a lot of it because I'm a huge fan of The Next Generation. And then I watch Picard and I go, what the fuck is going on? I saw the contradictions and I'm not a big Trekkie. And I was like, wait a second. I remember the episode of Next Generation. They said this shit couldn't happen, but it's a lot of contradictions. And Star Wars suffers from the same exact issue, which is why I find it's funny comparing the two. I mean, when you really think about it, PB, am I wrong? But I mean, I know you're not a big Trekkie, but being a big Star Wars fan, it does sound like both
Hey
franchises
man, I
are
don't
in the
make fun of your
same
weight.
It sounds like both franchises are in the same exact boat.
Say that again.
I said, I know you're not a huge Trekkie, but it sounds like both Star Wars and Star Trek are in the same exact boat as far as creativity goes. It feels like
Yeah, like I
they're
don't know what the problem is that you were speaking about, that you need to find writers that will tell the story appropriately. Like how did DC TV, as in Doom Patrol, Stargirl, Titans, Swamp Thing, how did those shows, or let me rephrase, how were they able to tell such a tight story? Where did all those writers go? Where are they? What's going on? Like, what the hell?
I'll give
Like, if you
DC
can do that with
Universe
those
one
shows,
thing. Like you said, they got good writers and they said, "Hey, this is the character. You do your interpretation. We'll leave you the fuck alone. You do what you want, but this is kind of the way we want it to go. And then you guys will write your own story or whatever." And what happened? Dude, I gotta say, Stargirl was a pleasant surprise, and it just got better like a show should. Like it got really good. Don't tell me what happens, but I'm on like episode 11 and I'm like, holy fuck. I had to like
Ooh,
stop it. Oh my
you're
God,
gonna
it
get
is
to the
so
twist.
good.
The twist is fantastic, and now that I've thought about it a little more, it's even better than I imagined, especially after I read a terrible Screen Rant article.
Oh, comic chat. Good night. It was definitely good to have you on. Everybody go check out Danny's channel. He's just got awesome stuff. Go check him out. Love having
Go
power
check out the
talks
chat
with him.
of comics.
So yeah, but the point is to the whole DC thing, like you were saying, how hard is it? Like when you are handed, and this is the same thing as a Star Wars fan, right? Because we both thought the same thing. We're both Star Wars fans. How are you handed basically a story that has been written? You have like the blueprint. You don't have to do anything new. You have amazing stories that you can even take in your own direction. You don't have to necessarily, but you have the outline, right? That's the hardest part. Creating the universe. The universe is already there. How do you take that and fuck it up? I don't understand it, PB. I don't understand how you can destroy a pre-made product. It's like a free ride. It's free. You don't have to work. That's like if you go to work, right? And someone does 50% of your job. And you basically you come in and all you have to do
Oh,
is
where do I
just
sign up for
finish it.
that?
Exactly. Imagine PB, imagine you go
Oh, wait,
to go
that's socialism. I take it back. I want to sign up for that.
but I
I want
mean
to keep all of
basically
my potatoes. You stay away from my potatoes. Don't take from my pile.
but I mean, okay, let's rephrase that. Say someone already went and picked you potatoes, PB. They got 50% of the potatoes and they said, all right, all you have to do is just get 50 more and you have 100%. Would that not be the easiest fucking thing to do?
So I'm taking their potatoes, or they were just being a nice person and giving me potatoes out of the kindness of their heart.
Oh, no. They were giving you potatoes, but you still have to get 50% more because,
No, but
they want some
oh my
potatoes.
God. Answer the question, guy. So they're
I'm a
giving
villain.
me the potatoes out of the kindness of their heart.
Okay, all right. To simplify it, yes, they gave you the potatoes out of the kindness of their heart.
Okay, so then why, oh, why, if I'm given the potatoes out of the kindness of their heart, would I rip out George Lucas's and Gene Roddenberry's hearts and stomp them into the fucking mud hole? Why would I do that?
I don't know. I have
I
no.
don't understand this. I want to make it my own when it's something that's been around for so long that you can make it feel like your own. And I mean, the best example that I can think of off the top of my head is Rogue One, because fuck if that doesn't feel at least like a prequel movie, might not feel like an original trilogy movie just because of how it physically looks on screen, but it does not feel like you're trying to push the characters in the direction that you feel that they want to go, because it's not up to you. It was up to the person who essentially created the entire universe by themselves and then handed you the playbook, and you're like, oh, ho, ho, I can improve these plays. Look at all the boxes I can check.
Yeah, and that's the thing. See, here is where they go wrong. And look, there's nothing wrong with tweaking things like you said to make it feel like your own creation, but they try to take it's that old saying, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it, right? They try to take something that is good, it works, and they try to, like you said, make it better because they feel like if they add all of this stuff, it makes it their own. And they're so creative. It's like when DC was on this
Like
whole
I
kick of making everything dark. It's just like, no, you don't have to
no,
make
if
everything
you
gloomy.
want to make a dark movie, you need to use the dark characters that are at your disposal. Because guess what? The Joker movie is dark as hell. It's not bright and sunshiny. It ain't at all. Because they took a dark character and they built a movie around that character. Superman is not a dark character. You cannot create a dark universe around a shining light on a hill. What the fuck?
Now you can make dark events around him,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
you can't make him dark himself. And that's why you have fucking Batman, because he takes that darkness. And look, I see what Zack Snyder was trying to do with that. And to an extent, I was very curious with him trying to do it. But then when
I
you
got
see
no
it on
problem with
paper,
Batman being dark. I just have a problem with him being a murderer instead of a vigilante.
but hold on, Lemon Pie had a good one here. You want to read that out here?
Sure. Lemon Pie said, I think they didn't just want to make Star Wars their own. They had actual contempt for its established characters. And that's
You
why
want to
we
comment on
had
that?
Kylo Ren shove his sword into his father's heart.
I so agree with that statement. Like looking at it now, and then like now that's all done and we got the full shit show, right? Looking at it now, it does feel like this new trilogy. First of all, it's uneven as fuck. I wouldn't say J.J. Abrams necessarily had contempt. He's just towing the company line. But Ryan Johnson, I feel like he definitely fucking, I don't know, he hated Star Wars or I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know
know if
what
he
the fuck.
hated Star Wars overall, but he definitely had some childhood vendetta that he needed to exact against Luke Skywalker or Mark Hamill. I don't know which one, but when the guy comes to you and says, hey, literally everything you've written in this movie is not the character that I've embodied for the last 40 years, and he looks at you and goes, it's my fucking movie. You're just an actor. Oh, okay. No wonder he looked fucking depressed when the movie got released.
And here's the thing. Okay, and I've gotten people who've had interesting responses to this comment. Look, whether you like or hate him, here's the facts. Ryan Johnson can make a good movie. I hate to say it. I hate to admit it. I hate to be that guy. But I mean, you know, Looper, Brick, Knives Out, they all did well.
What
Here's
do you
the
mean
thing
by
about
did
Ryan.
well? Bad
They
movies do
did
well all the time. The Last Jedi made $1.394 billion or
okay, let
1.4
me
something.
let
I
me
don't fucking know.
rephrase.
So what do you mean did well? Because I'm never
Let me
ever
rephrase.
going to watch a Ryan Johnson movie for the rest of my life unless I was tricked into it. If I know
L-
that he's the person that either wrote, directed, or sat near the making of this film, I'm turning it the fuck off.
Let me rephrase. For the most part, his movies have been critically and consumer wise a success, whether people want to admit it or not. Well, Knives Out, for some strange fucking reason, made a ridiculous amount of money, and people really like the film. I mean, people really fucking like that movie. Me personally, If you guys have seen my
People
review,
like that
and I
movie
did,
because of the cast, not because of the writing. And I haven't even seen that, and I can tell you that.
and I'm gonna be the first one to tell you the sole reason why I don't like that movie. It's not because it's not well directed. It's not because it's not well acted. It's not even because it doesn't have a good story, because it does. Ryan Johnson's ego is all over the film because he treats you like a fucking idiot. Because when I can solve the murder mystery in the middle of the movie, that I mean, that pisses me off because when a director gives you clues like that, that's saying basically like he thinks you're a fucking idiot and you can't put two and two together. I figured out halfway through the movie who the killer was, and it's a fucking 2 hour movie. So me and Bitchy were both pissed off. Like that was a waste of a day, but people fucking loved it. So my point is that how this relates to Star Wars. One of my theories is I do agree with you, PB. I feel like he might have had a grudge against Mark Hamill because the way he treated Luke, he shitted all over that character. But also, I feel like he is a very arrogant, and
I
from what
mean,
I've read, like he's very
we don't
arrogant.
know
Like
if he
his
would have
ego,
shit on Han Solo if he would have had access to him.
like, like he he has this
And I,
thing. His ego is so fucking huge,
I
so
mean,
huge.
on the other side of the coin, he had Princess Leia shit the Force out of her asshole to fly to the ship.
I just he, you know, I feel like he's one of those people. He's one of those people you meet who think that they're smarter than they actually are. Like they think they're saying shit to you and they treat you stupid, but you know what they're talking about, but they're so full of
Okay,
themselves they think they're intelligent. You know what
this
I
is
mean?
how I want to. I got to ask you this. Do you think, and I'm asking the chat too, so respond to this question. Do you think that Broom Boy at the end of the movie is meant to be Ryan Johnson as a little boy? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So if it's meant to be him as a little boy, the entire story of The Last Jedi is Ryan Johnson saying, "Fuck you, Luke Skywalker. I survived Star Wars."
Well, shit, man. That
You
is
never
a
heard
whole
anybody
new
say
wrinkle
that
on
before,
this.
did you?
And by the way, I want to welcome Generation Productions. Welcome, GP. It is good to see you. He
I have
says
so.
at Pop
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Culture PV and at General Zod's Phantom Zone. So, what do you think of the new Suicide Squad game? Yes, I heard about that.
We didn't get to
GP,
that yet. We're talking about
yeah,
Star Wars. The Suicide Squad is not in the Star Wars universe,
I will tell you this much, GP. Personally, it's by Rockstar Games. Enough said.
which means open world, right?
Open world and GTA. It's fucking
So,
Batman with GTA.
okay. I don't think that maybe we can move on to the next topic, which can be this for the moment, right? Because I don't have anything else to say about Star Trek versus Star Wars. I think we got it all out, right?
Yeah, yeah. I had another topic, but let's talk about this for just a second.
Just
Yeah,
for a
the
moment, because he brought it up and it's interesting, and I didn't know that this was happening. My first question is, because you seem to have some knowledge about it, is Deadshot going to be based off of Will Smith?
no, it is going to
It's going to be
be
based off of the white guy?
yeah, it's going to be the comics accurate version. So, I'm gonna
Oh,
put it to you like this way because you're not a
I
comic
guess I
reader.
didn't know that
Um, it'll
Deadshot
be
was
the Teen
comics
Titans
accurate.
version.
Wait, say
Like
that again?
it'll be the Teen Titans version, like season two.
Oh, okay. I've never watched
'Cause
Teen Titans because I don't care about them at all. They're not in the
or
Justice League.
Titans. I'm sorry, Titans.
The Titans
You
aren't in the
watched it?
Justice League either.
No, you watch the show. Damn it! Think
The
DC
only
Universe
time that I
Titans.
see the Titans per se is when I was watching Young Justice.
No, you watched Titans with
Oh,
because we
the
were talking about
TV show Titans.
yes, it's gonna be that Deadshot.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, that would be like saying they're doing comic book accurate Nick Fury. He's going to be white. So you're correct, but they're both in the comics. So what you're telling me is there's no black Deadshot at all?
No. Um, and look, here's the thing. Before I get into this, because I feel like I don't think any SJW would ever watch my channel, but in case we have any sensitive people, I don't have a problem with changing Deadshot. I think Will Smith did actually a very good job. My issue with it is that I think that they should hold at least the accuracy of the character. And I think that the changing the race doesn't factor into it because you could do Will Smith's Deadshot or you can do the, let's say, Titans version of Deadshot, and they would both work for me. Because in Suicide Squad, if there was two things that worked in that movie, it would be Harley Quinn and Will Smith as Deadshot. Those were the two things, the only two things in that movie that worked for me. How do you feel about that? Because I think both of
It's been a
those,
while since I watched it. Who are the other members of the Suicide Squad?
well, they've been a rotating kind of cast,
No,
but
in the movie.
Killer Croc, Boomerang,
I
Harley
liked
Quinn,
Boomerang.
Deadshot. I'm trying to think of Los Diablos. He shot the fire out of his hands, and then
Okay. He was
Katana.
okay.
She Katana was the Japanese woman who had the souls in her sword, and then
Oh yeah, she was straight out of Mortal Kombat.
yeah, yeah, I know what you're thinking.
Okay.
Kenshin,
So
right? And then
I mean, I would agree with you that Will Smith is probably the best part of the movie, but then I would probably add Viola Davis. She's
okay,
the one
yeah,
playing Amanda
yeah,
Waller,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's a fair like Amanda Waller. Like, okay, I'm
She did a
glad you
great
brought that
job
up.
because I know what Amanda Waller from what the Flash universe is. I don't remember the actress's name, but it's some super skinny black lady who's relatively tall, right?
Yeah, and here's
Okay,
the thing:
but
even
in
in the
Justice
comics,
League,
Amanda Waller was black, so that fit
right? Yeah, I mean
perfectly.
she's a black lady, but in the Justice League cartoon, Amanda Waller is built like a brick shithouse.
Here's the thing that I didn't that I actually I called bullshit on the cartoon, which by the way, PB, I caught up. You were right. That's an amazing show. We'll talk about that off air. But anyways, um Amanda Waller to me is done better in Flash in the movies. And why is because she is very tactical and I like the fact of making Amanda Waller a an unassuming character. Like that my favorite scene of Suicide Squad was when she goes in and she kills everybody who's in that like control room. Like, dude, she just fucking shoots everybody in the control room. That is Amanda Waller. Like, she is very shady, but good at the same time. I don't know, but it just works for me.
Yep.
Side note.
She's technically a good guy, but does evil things to achieve her goals, which makes
Yeah,
her a bad guy.
Well, no, I'd say she's like
Hey,
Punisher. She's like an
I mean,
anti-hero.
okay, so it's not in the movie. It must be in Justice League Unlimited. You're a bad guy if you make Captain Atom fight Superman. You're a bad guy.
Yeah, okay, fuck. I
If
can't
you're
believe you used
using the weight
source material against me.
if you're using the weight of your office to make a superhero, not an anti-hero or anything like that, a superhero attack another superhero, you're a bad guy.
See, I don't, I wouldn't, I did, okay. So, full disclosure, you guys, I've been drinking a little bit, so I'm gonna be a little bit honest. I was, with a special forces unit. I consider Amanda Waller kind of like what I did. You would say the shit that I did if I could disclose everything I did. Uh, bad.
She made you had to attack American troops?
No, but I did have to do shit that
Okay,
would be
because that would
considered
well, no,
unconstitutional.
no, 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 no. This would be the equivalent of you attacking American troops, the same as it would be a Russian attacking a
Okay,
Russian or a
all right. Let me give
Pakistani
you an
attacking a
example.
Pakistani. It's attacking one of your own, not the enemy. She didn't tell Captain
Let me give
Atom
you a
to
better
go kill
example.
Lex Luthor.
Let me give you a better example. I've had to do things where could, I didn't put civilians in the equation. You know what I mean? Like putting civilians in the equation was optional. So, I mean, it's that morally gray area. And I think that's where Amanda Waller kind of fits in. It's like,
Hey, we're
sh-
still not talking about the same thing, guy. She
no,
didn't
no,
say,
we are
hey,
because it's about the
no, no, no,
civilians.
no, no. I said specifically, she told a superhero to go and fight a superhero. She didn't say, hey, I need you to go and take out this other person. And if this superhero gets in the way, you are authorized to use deadly force. That's not what she did.
Yeah, but she did it for uh the uh the people. You know what I
She
mean?
did it
It
for
was
what? For her country?
yes. That's what
Evil
it's all
people
about.
always think they're
That's
the
our
hero of their own story.
not the same thing. Not the same thing.
Exactly the same
She is
thing.
under government contract. It is different when you work for the government. You are thinking
You're
about
right.
the
It is
greater good.
different. That means when you do something evil, it's even more evil. Thank you.
You know what, you son of a bitch? We're arguing semantics right now.
I know. I love it.
And by the way, thank you everybody who's watching. Uh, I don't know about you, PB, but I am enjoying the hell out of talking about this. We're getting really nerdy here, but shit, what was the original topic we were talking about? I lost complete
No,
track
we were
before
in
we.
between. So we just got done talking about Star Wars versus Star Trek.
And
So
we're
the
talking about
next one
Suicide
is
Squad
either
game.
going to be Captain Marvel, Robin Williams, or Scream.
Let's move on to Captain Marvel. Okay, everybody who's a Captain Marvel fan.
Wait, so you're talking to no one? I don't think you're
So
talking to anybody who's listening right now. There's
no,
no
no,
way
no.
that
I'm
there's
not.
anyone in our chat that's a Captain Marvel fan, at least of the movie. They might be a fan of the Captain Marvel comic.
Fuck no. If you saw the sales, no one loves that piece of shit. And it's funny because they're taking it more towards the comics. let me get into this article because there's two, and both of them are. Oh God. Okay, so let me just dive into this. The first article: Captain Marvel sequel lands a director, Nia DaCosta. If you guys can tell,
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
uh,
whoa,
sh-
whoa, whoa, whoa. Dude, her name is spelled with an A, is it not?
no, no,
What?
it's
Yes,
Nia
it is.
Costa.
Duh, Costa, not D Costa.
Okay, I'm sorry. Duh, Costa. I'm gonna say that every time. Duh, duh,
That's
duh.
perfect.
Anyway.
Then you'll never forget.
Anyways, the filmmaker behind Universal's upcoming Candyman movie, which, by the way, I am very much looking forward to it. Jordan Peele is the writer, so she's just the director. God, I hope this is good because Candyman is one of my
Jordan
favorite
Peele is
movies.
writing Captain Marvel too.
No, he's writing Candyman. It's one of my favorite horror
Oh,
movies. So yeah, it's gonna
interesting.
be
Well, I
fucking
mean, you
awesome.
you liked his last horror movie, so
Yeah, you were there for that, man. I got so many mixed opinions. Look, I don't give a shit what anyone says. I thought Us was way better than Get Out. It had me until the ending, but anyways, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. I love Jordan Peele. Uh, I can't wait for Candyman, but let's dive into this because this is interesting. So they're still keeping with the female director because female empowerment, yay! And a black female is writing Captain Marvel. So we're really going for those check marks.
yeah, they
The
didn't want to get overshadowed by Batwoman.
No, no, they're going for the gold for this movie. Holy fuck. Anyways, the filmmaker behind Universal's upcoming Candyman movie, Nia DaCosta, DaCosta is already
The Castle,
helping. Uh,
unbelievable.
hey, I've been drinking a little bit. Is already helping revive a '90s property with her take on MGM and Universal's upcoming Candyman. Please, God, let that be good. If they fuck that up, anyways. And now the filmmaker is taking on the
Wait, wait,
sequel
wait.
of
They can
Marvel's.
reboot Candyman with MGM money, but I can't get a Stargate Atlantis movie.
Hey, man, I feel your pain. I'm right there with you. They really need to show Stargate some love. But anyways, now the filmmaker is taking on the Marvel Studios '90s set movie Captain Marvel. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. So this is legit. This isn't a rumor. Megan McDowell, a writer on the upcoming Disney Plus Marvel series WandaVision, is penning the script for the sequel, which will once again star Brie Larson, yay, as Carol Danvers, fighter pilot turned superhero. The first Captain Marvel opened in March 2019 and went on to earn 1.1 billion globally and helped
I think you
lead Avengers.
mispronounced a word there. You said superhero. It's pronounced Thanos punching bag.
I'm sorry. Uh, Thank you for correcting me on that. Um,
No problem.
this is the funniest line. This douchebag, listen to this. He wrote that this movie earned 1.1 million globally, right? And then he put and helped lead into Avengers Endgame. No, it did not. This movie did not fucking lead into Avengers Endgame. It had nothing to do with it. It
You want to hear a
The
hot
end
take?
credit scene was cut.
You know what movie led into Avengers Endgame more than Captain Marvel?
Ant-Man and the
Spider-Man Far From
Wasp.
Home.
No. No, I'd say Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Dude, you
That was
totally
more
missed
of
the
a
joke,
tie-in.
guy.
Oh, no, yeah, I did. I
You
did.
didn't hear what I said. What movie led into Endgame more than Captain Marvel? And I said Spider-Man Far From Home. It came out after it, guy.
Yeah, alcohol, it's a hell of a thing. Anyways, Annie Bowden and Ryan Fleck directed. The cast also included Jude Law, Ben Mendelsohn, Annette Bening, Gemma Chen, Lanchin Lynch, whose on-screen daughter, Monica Rambeau, will appear in WandaVision. Fuck. This time as an adult
Interesting.
and played by Candyman actor Tyon Paris. DaCosta broke out in her debut feature, Little Woods, which starred Tessa Thomas and premiered at
Yep.
the Tribeca
Tessa
Film.
Thompson, which I feel is how she got the connection to the MCU.
More than likely. It premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival in 2018. Her Candyman film, which she co-wrote with Jordan Peele, but we're just gonna say Jordan Peele wrote most of the script because it's Jordan Peele. Anyways, when Rosenfeld was initially supposed to debut uh, June 12th, but has been delayed due to COVID to October 16th. It has still managed to stir cultural controversy. Yay! Thanks to a social relevant teaser that earned praise when it was released in June. Captain Marvel 2 has a July 8th, 2022 release date. Marvel has no comment on the hiring of DaCosta, who is rep by CAA. So, yeah, this is the first article. What do you think about DaCosta being put on? A strong, empowered female African American
I
writer.
feel like this goes against exactly what Anthony Mackie was talking about when he said, I don't care if you're black, white, green, yellow, purple. Shout out to Perp. Like, he doesn't care what color you are, where you're from, anything. He just wants the best person for the job. This chick has only made one film that has come out and one that is going to come out soon, allegedly, if the world doesn't end first. So why are we doing this with her? Oh, it's because you think that you're going to get some good publicity out of it, and she's just directing somebody else's story. She's not writing anything.
Yeah, it's really intriguing to me because I have no clue who the fuck this person is. Like, I've never seen
Yeah, I'd
The
never
Little
heard of her.
Woods. I've never heard of her before. And I mean, look, Marvel
I
has
read
done
the
this
info
before.
about Little Woods. It's about two sisters who lose their mother, I guess, and their farm is going to get repoed and they got to come up with a bunch of money. So I assume they just, Tessa Thompson turns into a prostitute, right?
Yeah, that's what I gathered. I don't know much about it.
In the woods. She's like, there are no corners. Where am I supposed to stand?
I love what Lemon Pie said here. He said, let me put this up on screen. Go ahead and read that. You got the radio voice.
What?
Oh, I said, go ahead and read that. You have the
Oh,
radio voice.
sorry. Lemon Pie says, so now if anyone criticizes Captain Marvel 2, we know what the reply will be. Yeah, you
Oh,
just don't
yeah.
like it because it was directed by a black woman.
Yeah, this is their foolproof failsafe. They're gonna say, "Oh, you're sexist, you're racist, blah 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 blah, fucking blah." Look, it's about the quality of the film. Now, I can't imagine. Look, I'm not saying Captain Marvel was bad in a sense of being poorly shot or anything like that. Technically, on paper, it's a good movie. Where Captain Marvel fails is it's boring and it's bland. And you can look at any
And it
fucking
retcons
comedy movie.
stuff from the MCU that's
Oh,
previously established as
oh
fact.
yeah, they retconned the shit out of so much stuff in that movie. Dude, the retcons were real. That shit with Nick Fury at the end and the fucking thing that says the Avengers on the her fighter jet or whatever. Dude, no. That is not how that name came about. He specifically said why he named the Avengers, but
Yeah, he also didn't lose his eyeball until either the very late 90s or early 2000s, because I believe in the Winter Soldier, there's a scene where you can see a picture of him from it's either 98 or 99, and he has both eyes still. But then this movie takes place in 1994, and he gets his eye ripped out by a fucking flurkin.
yeah, total bullshit. And speaking of, we're going to go to the Hollywood Insider.
Yay.
Oh my God, dude. Oh, I can't. Okay. Captain Marvel producer explains why we didn't find out the superhero's sexual identity in her movie.
I mean, we
Oh,
know her
okay.
sexual identity. She came back in Endgame with a giant dyke cut. It's pretty
Oh,
clear.
okay. I'm first off, I want to say something about this. This is not new. Okay. The comics did a bisexual thing with Captain Marvel. Okay. This isn't deviating from source material, but this comic did not fucking sell anything. Okay. People hated this version of Captain Marvel. And this is the version they're going with. But, anyways, I'm going to read this. But I'm just letting you
Hold
know.
on 1 second. Generation Productions. Oh, he retracted it just as I was going to read it. There must have been a typo. That was sad. It was a good joke. At least I thought it was. It'll be back, though.
Okay.
Okay, go
So,
ahead.
uh, Jesus Christ. Marge's Captain Marvel left fans wondering whether or not Carol Danvers may be the Marvel Cinematic Universe first openly gay or bisexual character. No, it didn't. No one left Captain Marvel saying, I wonder if Carol Danvers is bisexual. Can I identify?
No, I
No
didn't
one
wonder
said
it.
that.
I know for a fact that she's a big dyke.
No, she's actually not. She likes both men and women.
Sure.
But anyways, after Endgame, we know that's no longer the case. Why didn't the film explore her sexuality? Because no one gives a shit. Anyways, the insider was told there wasn't any time for it in its 2 hour runtime. Speaking to Captain Marvel in the installment that was the movie about self discovery and Carol redefining herself. So, in executing the film, we felt there wasn't room in the narrative to tell that story. Captain Marvel producer and Marvel Studios director, production and development, Mary Levanos told Insider at the SBNW Summit in New York City Wednesday. Captain Marvel is an origin story for Carol Danvers, who was born on Earth but lived with the Kree aliens on another planet. After gaining superhero powers and being forced to forget her former life, still after the movie's release, many fans believe Danvers' friendship with fellow Air Force pilot Maria Rambeau may be more than platonic. I did not get that whatsoever from that. Let me tell you something. That was the worst scenes in that movie. I didn't even feel like they were fucking friends. But, anyways, actress Brie Larson and Tessa Thompson, who played Captain Marvel and Valkyrie, respectively, support the idea of an LG or LBGTQIA character in the MCU.
You
If I fucked
mispronounced
up
it.
those
It's
initials,
pronounced
that's a
quilt
lot.
bag.
Jesus Christ. Okay, let me try that. LBGTQIA. What the fuck? Jesus Christ, that's an acronym.
I'm supposed to call them quilt bags. You got to rearrange the letters.
Larson tweeted out fan art of the two characters together, while Thompson told the LA Times it's time for a partnership between some female characters in the franchise. Fuck off. But Marvel has yet to confirm the sexuality on screen. I
I mean, are they going to have Scarlet Witch and Black Widow hook up? Because I'd be down for that.
would be down for that too. Is Captain Marvel gay? Oh my God, this article. Levis was tight-lipped on this topic when Insider brought up Valkyrie and Captain Marvel pairing and asking why Avengers Endgame didn't take the opportunity to be more upfront in either of their sexualities after Anthony Russo and Joe Russo said they were adamant about having a gay moment in the latest Avengers movie. Instead of introducing one of Marvel's many superheroes to be gay or a part of the LBGTQIA community, Joe Russo appeared as a gay man in therapy following Thanos' devastating snap. I'd just say I believe everyone's on the spectrum. I believe in the spectrum, said Levos. Fuck you and your spectrum. I'm nowhere on that motherfucker. Anyways, when
Yeah, you
asked if
are. You're the kind of person that they hate because you're a cisgendered, heterosexual, white male.
oh well, I'd respond to that by saying I'm a villain. Anyway, anyways, when asked if we'll see more representation in the Marvel Cinematic Universe moving forward, Levo said, "It's safe to say yes. God, I hope so," said Captain Marvel comic book writer Kelly Sue, who hasn't sold a fucking comic since she took over. I'm sorry, I put that in there. On on Captain Marvel, an interview with Sirius XM Radio on Monday, Avengers Endgame directors and brothers Anthony and Joe Russo said one of Marvel's existing characters is gay and fans should expect some sort of news soon. There is a gay character coming up in one of their films, and I think Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige will make that announcement, I'm sure, pretty soon, said Joe Russo, who's the biggest fucking liar, and you shouldn't believe anything he says. As for Captain Marvel sequel, when insiders showed Levos Walt Disney Studios' new theatrical schedule with 8 untitled Marvel movies and asked for her to point out which one may be a sequel to the 1 billion movie, Levels couldn't say. I have signed a blood oath, and I cannot say, she said. The Captain Marvel producer said the same during a panel with ESPN's Sarah Spain when asked about Captain Marvel's sequel. Maybe we'll get an announcement later in the summer, July at the San Diego Comic-Con. When do you think, or when do we know is that we'll be seeing a lot more of Carol Danvers? It's clear she will be taking a real forefront in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yay! Celebrating the women of Captain Marvel. Insider attended on Wednesday. Captain Marvel will be available on digital download and Blu-ray on June 11th. So, uh, yeah,
So
so
you're finally
Captain,
done with this effing article?
yeah, so, confirmed. They're going, to make Captain Marvel what we already knew from the first movie, gay. Um,
Okay, so Generation Productions said, what do you call a bag of glass balls that is feminist and part of the Avengers?
no clue.
Captain Marbles.
So, he, you know, this whole article was about the thing that the media has been focusing on in every fucking product that we have, PB. Every single thing. They want to know, is the character gay? Is the character female? Is the character have some kind of representation? You know, let me ask you, when you watch Captain Marvel, were you saying, I hope Captain Marvel is part of the LBGQTAZXY fucking community?
Dude, they're quilt bags.
Okay, was that your big focus?
Yeah, they only care. Like, I don't have any idea why anybody is talking about this. I don't know why the Russos were brought up at all, considering their contract with Marvel and Disney is done. They've made all the movies they're going to make for them.
So the bigger question is, do you think that they're going to push Captain Marvel as a leader in the new Avengers?
Well, yeah, you always put your punching bag up front.
I knew you were gonna say something like that. Um,
It depends on which way they're doing it. If you watch the post credit scene, because Nick Fury is in space. So is he going to need Avengers in space? The same way that you had kind of the away team with Black Widow at the headquarters taking care of stuff on Earth while you had handful of people all over the place. Like you don't even know what planets they're on at that point. They don't say specifically. They're just out in the cosmos. So if they need a
okay,
group of people out there, she might be leading the group of people that's out there and not necessarily leading the group of people that's on the planet here.
okay, I'm gonna drop some source material here. I know you love when I do this. Now in Marvel, there is a group called Sword, and they are solely responsible for the cosmic aspects of the MCU. So Nick Fury, in his time and space being Nick Fury, discovered a group called Sword, and he made it as a intergalactic, uh, like police force kind of. Now, Captain Marvel did lead the Avengers for a little bit, during a Marvel run. Everybody fucking hated it, and they wind up bringing Captain America back. But she did have Earth's main group under her control, and it led to Civil War II, which was led by Captain Marvel and fucking Squirrel Girl, the most useless fucking character. Anyways,
What you
um,
mean the strongest superhero of them all? Like Captain Marvel's got nothing on Squirrel Girl.
oh my God, Squirrel Girl literally, folks, bear with me. I don't even know if I can talk about this. Squirrel Girl's whole power is talking to squirrels. I, I, she's part of the Young Avengers, and it's like Squirrel Girl, America Chavez, which is the Mexican Captain America.
Because that's not an oxymoron.
Yeah, yeah. Just think an a Mexican American Captain America. I can't make this shit up. I don't know what happened, but Marvel went through this like renaissance of doing like very mixed. Anyways, and then like the second in command or third in command was Black Panther, which hey, way to hold the black man down. Why couldn't Black Panther lead, being that he's one of the oldest Avengers? But whatever, I guess you don't care about diversity that much. And then they it was a big fucking mess, and they restructured everything. They brought back Iron Man and Captain America and all that shit. But it appears Marvel is going this route. How do you feel about this?
Oh man. I don't have any strong opinions either way. I don't care enough.
Yeah, enough. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna switch up to something
I don't think
serious.
anybody cares enough. This movie is not going to come out until like
20.
2023.
Yeah, so you know what? We'll watch that train wreck as it happens. I heard Wolverine might be in it, and then Rogue. They're gonna bring in something big to make a billion. I don't think Brie Larson has that kind of power to bring in people unless they just want to bash on this film. But anyways, um, I'm gonna bring this down to something a little bit more serious. Are you ready to get serious, PB?
Repeat that.
Are you ready to do a serious article?
What do you mean? Like the previous article wasn't serious? Like how was
Fuck
talking
no.
about a black director for Captain Marvel 2 not serious? Like we got to check them boxes.
Okay, I'm gonna say serious as in like, real world
Yes,
serious and
I am
not.
ready to talk about Robin Williams.
Oh, it's like you read my mind. Okay, folks, let's talk about Robin Williams and on a
Can I read
serious
this
note.
joke first?
Yeah, go ahead, because this is gonna get serious.
The USS Enterprise is now gender fluid. Why? Because of Enterprise, ABCDEFGHIJKLMNOP, and many more letters in the alphabet like LGBTQ, GPT.
That was a good one. That had to have been Generation Productions.
Indeed.
So, um, if you guys have been living under a rock, and I think you can agree with me, PB, one of the greatest comedic talents of our time, Robin Williams, took his own life. and it was very sad,
He
very
might be
sad.
the best, but that's debatable.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'd agree with you. If you told me I think Robin Williams is the best, I would agree. Just fucking watch Aladdin, Patch Adams. I mean, Robin Williams was a
Oh, I thought you were
a
talking about stand-up comedy.
oh, we can go stand-up comedy. I would say Robin Williams is in like my top three because I got Eddie Murphy in there and then Dennis Leary and then Robin.
Oh,
I have
that's a
Robin
hell of a
Williams.
three.
I know it's really hard, but I go like that's hard. I'd say Eddie Murphy, Delirious, and then Robin Williams on Broadway, and then Dennis Leary. Uh, but yeah, those are my top three. And Robin Williams is so tragic because he took his life after getting news that he had a brain disease and he was going to die. It's such a sad story. And now there is some new information that I wanted to bring up. And, we're going to get a little bit serious here because this shit happens. And, a lot of comedians are depressed even though they bring us joy, they themselves come from a pain of, or a place of suffering. And, Robin Williams dealt with a lot of shit and he left behind a family. And I had to discuss this because there is new evidence that came out that said his brain disease might have contributed to his final days. So I'm going to read this and, hopefully I don't chase off too many people because I know when it gets kind of serious, people don't want to get hit in the feels. But a new doc explores Robin Williams' battle with brain disease. Now, keep in mind, Robin Williams a fucking brain disease in his final days, and when he took his own life, he left a letter saying how he didn't want to burden his family with dealing with him with this brain disease. So it's been almost 6 years since the world lost the comic genius Robin Williams. The Oscar, Emmy, Golden Globe, SAG, and Grammy. He swept all of them. Winner died of a suicide in August 11th, 2014, leaving behind his wife, Susan, and his children, Zach, Zeta, and Cody, and millions of fans around the world. Millions of fans around the
I'd be
world.
real disappointed if I was named Cody. I'd be like, really? You give the other kids Z names? I'm Cody?
In a new documentary on his final days, which are explored by the closest to him and details of the neurological disorder that plagued this entertainer is revealed. The first trailer, Robin's Wish, which I'm going to be reviewing because it's been released ahead of its September 1st premiere of on VOD, and it includes interviews with Williams' friends and family. And I gotta be honest, I've got this ready to go. I'm gonna review it, but this, folks, this is one of the hardest things I've ever had to watch. I don't take a lot of actors and actresses dying really hard. I liked Bill Paxton. That was a difficult passing, but Robin Williams really hit me because, like, no matter who you are, one of his movies and you love. And I feel like we were robbed of one of the greatest, kindest, like, just brilliant comedians of all time. And yeah, it's a hard documentary to watch. But anyways, um Sorry about that. I'm chewing. Um,
Oh, you bastard.
it
I know
is,
what just happened.
it includes interviews with Williams' friends and families, as well as old footage of the actor himself. In the new doc, directed by Taylor Norwood, which shout out to him, he does an excellent job. He interviews the director Sean Levy, who worked with Williams on all three Night at the Museum movies, including the final installment, which was filmed 2 years before Williams' passing. On the last movie, it was clear to all of us on set that something was going on with Robin, said Levy. I remember him saying to me, I don't know what's going on. I'm not me anymore. Robin's Wish examines Williams' unparalleled career in the entertainment world, beginning with his starring role in Mork and Mindy in 1978. His career spanned more than 3 decades and included both comedic and dramatic roles on TV and film. Starring as a stand-up, Williams often returned to his comedic roots. His 26-date Weapons of Self-Destruction tour in 2009 marks one of the final times the comedian performed on stage. The doc also touches on the widespread media speculation that followed his death, including the reports the actor was depressed and suffering from massive financial losses. It turns out he was suffering from a rare brain disease called Lewy body dementia that attacked his mind from all sides. With invaluable help from leading medical experts, I saw that what Robin had gone through finally made sense. Our experience matched up with the science. Williams in a statement shared with EW. And what I discovered along the way was bigger than me and bigger than Robin. The full story was revealed during the making of the film, and it holds to the truth that Robin and I had been searching for. She also said the name came from conversation she had with her husband shortly before his death. Robin wanted to help all of us be less afraid. That was Robin's wish, said Williams. We had been discussing what we wanted our legacies to be in life. When it was our time to go, how we wanted to have people feel without missing a beat, Robin said, I want people to be less afraid. Uh, damn, I'm getting choked up just finishing that. I, I, I mean, PB, what you gotta say? I gotta take a moment. I don't get emotional here on the channel or during a thing, but go ahead, PB. You take it for a bit.
Oh my God. Get it together, man. It's not one of your family members. We're talking about a celebrity here, which I can understand having some kind of emotion, but it's not like you're watching the documentary right now and they're having the epic score in the background that's tugging at your heartstrings. You're horribly reading an article.
Yes. I think the biggest crime is my butchery of the English language. But no, it chokes me up because this is different from other celebrities we've seen that may have committed suicide and, their own reasonings behind it. And look, that's a terrible thing, but I don't endorse it. But this was solely he did these actions and he might have not been in the right state of mind, or maybe he was and didn't want to. I don't know what the case is. We'll all never know. But I feel like the world was robbed of a guy who just wanted to make us smile. I mean, his whole mission in life was to make other people happy. How could you not endorse someone like that? You know what I mean? In this selfish world that we live in, this man wanted to make everybody else laugh, even if it was at his own expense. He cared about the happiness and the joy of other people. And I don't know, man.
Yeah,
That
but
just hits
we
me.
gotta cancel him because he dressed as a woman and he didn't identify as one, so it's not appropriate.
I mean, but seriously, man, what are your feelings about this? Like, how do you feel about how this whole situation went down? I mean, I know your opinions about, celebrity deaths don't affect me and you, but don't you feel like we
I mean,
lost
I wouldn't
something great?
necessarily go that far. I'm sure that there are some here and there that I'd be like, oh man, like when I heard that Regis died, my jaw literally dropped. I was like, well, that's sad. Like I was sad for a substantial amount of time. Not like if a family member were to die, because if you're getting that choked up over a celebrity, I feel like your priorities are a little mixed up. But
Yeah, that I agree with. Like, it won't slow down my life, but it falls under that category of like, here we have a celebrity who did shit to help people. He donated to a lot of charities. He donated to people who suffered from depression, which I didn't know until after this documentary, and things like that. This was a man who legitly wanted to make people laugh and people to be happy. And it's like, why the fuck do we have Brie Larson, but Robin Williams is gone? you know? he just
uh because she looks way better in a low cut dress than he did.
debatable. No, I agree.
That is yeah, sure, it's debatable, and everyone who's picking Robin is losing that debate.
No, I mean, Miss Doubtfire. He did a great job as that character, but Robin Williams in a dress versus Brie Larson, that's not even a contest. But I mean, uh, it's just so sad because, it's that whole thing where you have this guy who is trying to make the world a better place who's taken from us. And then we have these selfish assholes in Hollywood who just seem to fucking live forever. Fucking Susan Sarandon. I'm waiting for that cunt to die, and she just keeps on going.
Oh, you got it out for Susan Sarandon? What'd she
Oh, yeah,
do?
fuck that wacky bitch.
Yeah, but what does that
Like,
have to do with her art?
oh, she's so far left that, I mean,
I
literally,
don't
she
care
probably
about their
leans what she.
politics. I didn't hear you bring up any of Robin Williams' politics. You
Okay,
think Robin
yes.
Williams was a conservative?
No, not at all. But the point is, though, Robin Williams may not have been, but he was a good person. And that counts for a lot more than someone's politics in my book. There's
True,
one,
as it should.
there's one thing if you lean that way and you're full of shit, but he legitly wanted to help people and put his money where his mouth was. Whereas Susan Sarandon or any of the other Hollywood elitists say that they want to help people, but they don't ever contribute to that. I mean, in this documentary, he did a lot of good shit that no one even knew about and that he didn't want people to know about. He just did it because it was the right thing to do. And, you know, you look at these actors now, and if they do a charity or something, it's got to be a big fucking event. They got to get their pat on the back. And you know, Robin donated to all of these charities and things, and half of the shit he was involved in, I had no fucking clue. He donated to people, the suicide hotline things, and people who suffered from brain cancer and stuff like that. He put so much money into that funding, even when he was past the point of being helped. I mean, just think about that. Because at that point, you know you're fucked.
Whoa, whoa,
There's
whoa.
nothing they can
He
do
put
for
a
you.
bunch of money into these organizations after he died?
Yeah, he his a portion of uh whatever his insurance did, he put away enough to help his family out for fucking years. And he also donated a large sum to people dealing with brain cancer, uh, all of those. I don't know what the suicide hotlines fall in, but suicidal thoughts or tendencies, all that. He put money into that. That was part of what he donated to after he was dead. Yeah. After he died, he still had money going towards organizations to help people. Just think about that. In his death, he donated a large part of his wealth to helping other people. I mean, that's amazing. How
Yep.
many
And
people do you think
I
would do
would
that?
lean, and this is, me, and I'm probably in the minority here. I would say that it's probably more impressive the amount of time that he donated while he was alive to going and helping people just to try and improve their mood, more so than the amount of money that he donated over his life and apparently even after his life.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that too. He knew he couldn't donate his time, but he's like, fuck it. My money ain't gonna help me when I'm dead. I can still help people. Even in his death, years later, he is helping fund things that uh could help people. I mean, PB, how many
And I
Hollywood
mean,
stars do we know would do this? You know,
7,
that's a very specific number.
you knew it was coming.
But I
As
mean,
a total of 7. That's it.
I
It's
mean,
not a whole lot of people that are willing to do these types of things to help people. Oh, I was just had a name and off the top of my head, Jeremy Renner. Doesn't he donate a whole bunch of money for like Habitat for Humanity, stuff like that without telling people?
oh yeah, yeah. Jeremy Renner's another one that I think that, and God, I
Now,
hope nothing happens to him, but
I don't think that he would be able to just go around from place to place making people smile because he's not a comedian, he's just an actor. I'm sure you might be able to do that a little bit, like if somebody's make a wish is they want to meet Hawkeye, well, fucking A, man, suit up.
and you want to read this comment by GP because it's some great news for us. We're gonna be selfish for a little bit here.
We are at 11 likes and 0 dislikes. So, for those 2 people who aren't talking in the chat, hit that like button and get us to a baker's dozen.
But yeah, I think that this is whether or not you agree or disagree with the politics, that doesn't matter. I think the person is important in these situations, and it shows the kind of character someone is when they are doing stuff like this and they don't have to. I mean, in your fucking death, you're done. You're off this earth. You don't have to weigh in one way or the other. But he went on camera. He's gone in public several times saying that he is about bringing joy and laughter to people. And a lot of people who would say that now, you would call them full of shit if they're in Hollywood. But, you know, he actually meant it. I mean, he really wanted to help people, and it's so fucking sad. It's so sad that a person this kind and decent would suffer such a terrible thing. And, my heart goes out to the family and the friends and all the people who knew the kind of person he was, that the earth was robbed of someone who genuinely cared about people. That's what comedy is about. It's about joy, it's about laughter, it's about people forgetting about the real world bullshit that's going on just for an hour or however long a movie or a comedy special lasts, and they can laugh and forget about their worries. And that's what Robin Williams was about. Robin Williams was about making people laugh and have a good time. And that's so sad that we got robbed of that. It's such a fucking shame. I don't know that.
Imagine Robin Williams doing comedy now, but he'd have to wear a face mask. That'd be terrible.
It would be, but I bet you it'd still be funny. I've yet to see a bad stand-up. He's done some not so good movies, but I've never not laughed at a stand-up comedy. So,
Okay, well,
I wanted.
the stand-up joke where he's talking about the greatest sound in the world, right? Macaroni and cheese. You remember that
Yeah.
joke?
Oh God, yeah.
And then okay, and then he falls asleep doing what he's doing. Okay, that doesn't work if you're wearing a mask because you literally can't eat the macaroni and cheese. Like people who
No.
are listening, they know what I'm talking about. They get it.
But yeah, I had to bring this up because it's surrounding the anniversary of this, and shout out to Robin, and he can rest easy knowing he did the best version of the Aladdin. Like, sorry, Will, but Robin killed it. There's gonna be no one who could ever follow that performance.
Nope.
So speaking of which, I want to take us back. We're still hanging in the 90s. There was a movie. There was a movie that changed horror. And that movie uh was clever because it decided to poke fun of the horror tropes that have become so prominent in horror movies. And that movie was Scream. PB, have you ever seen the original Scream?
Are you serious right now? Of course I've seen the original Scream.
So yeah, Scream was done by the popular great Wes Craven, rest in peace. God, I never thought we lose so many people. But Wes Craven created Scream, and when he made it, he wanted to do a horror movie that pointed out the flaws in horror. And it was a serious movie, but it also had some of the greatest dialogue and pointed out things that were glaring flaws at the time in horror movies. And so I get a little bit leery when they start talking about bringing these things back, but it's been confirmed. Courtney Cox, if you guys don't know, still looks good to this day. She was in
Oh, really?
Friends. Oh yeah, yeah. I seen a picture. I don't know. I'd still go there. Anyways, Courtney Cox will return as Gale Weathers for a new Scream movie. The In the world of slasher movies set in a sleepy little towns, With no shortage of unsuspecting victims, Scream is the stuff of legends. Since the release of the film in 1996, Craven's wildly popular franchise has grown to include films and a TV series, merchandise, and even a video game. And now is making a comeback, one that is including Courtney Cox. First reported by Deadline, Courtney took to Instagram to confirm the news. She will reprise the role as the reporter Gale Weathers in the latest installment of the Scream franchise. Uh, there's a bunch of pictures here. The new Scream,
I'll
uh,
take your word for it.
the new Scream film will be directed by the Ready or Not Matt Buttonary. And if you guys haven't seen Ready or Not, it was a pretty good film and will mark the return of Courtney Cox's ex-husband David Arnett or Arquette.
David
Sorry.
Arquette. My God, man. Like, such
Uh,
disrespect shown to a WCW champion. Unbelievable.
to the franchise as Dewey. Production on the film is set to begin later this year in Wilmington, North Carolina. Speaking of enthusiastically to the Hollywood Reporter back uh, in May about his return, Arquette said, "I'm thrilled to be playing Dewey again and reunited with Scream family, old and new. Scream has been such a big part of my life for both uh, the fans and myself. I am looking forward to honoring Wes Craven's legacy. Craven, the franchise creator and director for the first four films, passed away in 2015 at the age of 76. For those who need a refresher, Scream follows the protagonist, Sidney Prescott, who was played by Nev Campbell, who becomes the target of a mass killer, or more often not killers, later revealed as Ghostface, donning the mask inspired by a painting, The Scream. Ghostface stalks and torments his or her victims, often
Wow.
exhiberating
Take another drink, guy. Maybe wet your whistle with that. What are you drinking? 40% alcohol? 50%?
it's Jack, so who knows? Uh,
It says it right
ability,
on the bottle.
dude. I have like a cup because
Okay, so the
I'm in
alcohol
the
content
Phantomobile.
is so high that you're fucking blind. Excellent.
Superhuman strength and the ability to jump back to life when the victims least expect it. Prescott is joined by the town sheriff Dewey Riley, uh, the tabloid reporter turned bestseller Gale Weathers, and a variety of friends and acquaintances who unfortunately are pulled into the mix in each film. With plenty of scares, unexpected laughs, iconic moments, and haircuffs, the famous faces across all four films, fans are likely wondering what is in store for this next installment. Arquette and Cox are returning. Can we expect others? Cough, cough. Nev Campbell to reprise their classic roles as well. What's Scream without Sidney Prescott? It seems we'll have to wait to find out. Until then, what's your favorite scary movie? So, what do you think about them doing another Scream in this modern era?
I'm all game for it. I feel like we had that conversation a couple weeks ago. I don't remember if we were on air or not, where I said, even though I am anti remake, apparently I'm pro remakes or as many sequels
Reboot.
as possible when it comes to horror movies. Like, if you're
Yeah,
gonna do shot for shot the way that they did Lion King, I don't want to watch your reboot of your horror movie. But if you're gonna change some stuff and do some new kills and whatever, I'm down for that because that's what I want to see in my horror movies. So if you're just using the name of the movie to get people to show up, but you're gonna do some cool, new, inventive things that I haven't seen before. I mean, like, everybody, I'm guessing everyone here has seen the Saw movie, but I doubt that everyone here has seen at least the first seven. I don't remember if there are more than that. I've seen all of them. They get progressively worse, and I still love all of them.
yeah. I think that Scream does have a place in this modern horror. I think if they take it from how they did the original and they kind of poke fun of
Right.
the way they
I
do
don't know
things,
exactly what they're going to do, being that they're bringing back those characters. Like, is it going to be a continuation? Because how can he be Dewey? How can he go back to being Dewey when he did what he did? And, that's how we ended the story, was him pulling the mustache off and not being retarded anymore. He's like, yep, I've moved on. I no longer have to stick my dick in the vacuum.
I think that from what I heard, and I got some inside track, I've heard they're going to do the whole camera view where it looks like someone who is shooting on a handheld camera. You know how like Blair Witch does and Cloverfield and all those movies. They're gonna incorporate that. They're going to do some other things and experiment with this. I think that it's gonna be interesting to see how they pull it off. They need Nev Campbell. I love Nev Campbell. I've had a crush on her for years. Bring her
Jesus
back.
Christ. Who don't you have a crush on?
Brie Larson. Fuck that cunt.
Liar.
I do not, okay? Just because she
You
looks
have
good
a
in a
bigger
low
crush on
cut
her than
dress.
anybody else in America. I have not seen anybody talk about a woman that much in my life.
Talking about her and have a crush on her is two very different things. Very de Anyways, this was kind of my last article of the night. I really don't got nothing else because I gotta wake up at fucking 5 o'clock.
We better talk
So
about frickin' Stargate next week, you son of a bitch.
yeah, I'll dig up something, but Stargate is never dead. It's in our hearts, PB. And as long as we have that portal open, I feel like they'll
And
make
it's on
another one.
Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, I've watched them. I think I'm up to the fifth
But
season now.
but how many times have you watched them? Like,
At
from start to
least
finish, how many times do you think you've watched through Stargate?
I'm not gonna lie, because it's such a fucking long series,
There
and
are
then I gotta include
220 some episodes.
yeah,
They're
and
all
then you gotta
45
include
minutes.
Atlantis. You gotta include
No,
Atlantis
I'm
because
just
it's
saying
in between.
just SG1. How many times have you watched through just SG1?
I'd say I'm on my third time.
Oh my God, that's it?
Dude, it's 200 and something episodes. You know how many
I
hours that is?
know. But then
That's
again,
it's
I was
hard.
watching it back when Hulu first started and you only got one ad on Hulu. Sometimes you would get no ads. That was awesome. So you get a 45-minute show and there'd be no ad in there and be like, oh, bitchin'. So I'd be
No,
watching two,
see
three
me, I got
episodes a
ad free.
day.
I got the ad free package. I don't deal with that shit.
Dude, this is when Hulu first started.
Oh, well, shit. We're going back to that. I didn't have Hulu
They
back
haven't
then.
had Stargate on Hulu for a long time. I stopped using it when they dropped Stargate. It was the only thing I watched on there ever. That I was
See,
like,
I
oh,
watched,
I can go on Hulu and watch Stargate. This is great. So I'm pretty sure I've watched through the entire series at least 5 times, not to mention how many times I've rewatched some of my favorite episodes, probably in the neighborhood of 10 times.
See now, and I know you might be a little bit salty about this, but I gotta say, I actually watched Battlestar Galactica, the new one, more than that, and that's just because I love Edward James almost. Uh, just that show I've actually watched more because I always find something new. Stargate, I I haven't watched that much just because it's so long. Like 220 episodes, if you guys don't know, is a lot of fucking episodes of television. And there's so much shit in Stargate. Like Stargate is so great. Okay, Stargate is a great show, and I know we're deviating here, but it's the end of the show and my channel, so fuck it. But Stargate is such a great show that it's one of those shows where when you watch through the whole thing, there's so much shit going on. You got to really pay attention to it. So if I start a marathon like that, I do not want to be disturbed. Like I'm trying to find new shit I may have not noticed or I forgot. You know what I
Right?
mean, PB. So like
Oh
it's
no,
one of
that's what
those
I've been
shows.
doing since we were watching. I was watching through it with the wife because she had never watched it before, and I was like, okay. So I'm sitting here like not scrutinizing, but like paying attention to some of the smaller details. And every so often, I'd lean over and I'd say, "Hey, did you just see what happened in this scene? Like right at the beginning? That's important. Remember that." And she's like, "Remember it for when?" And I was like, the series finale.
Stargate, okay, Stargate is one of those shows, and I think I might do a video on this, but there's been very few series, and I'm talking like whole entire series that have ended satisfying. Stargate is one of those series that everything that happened in the beginning may is very important to the end of the show. And I think like Stargate, Breaking Bad, and Burn Notice have been the shows for me that have ended with a good ending, and they've come back full circle. Like Stargate is one of those shows where I've got to remember shit through every episode because it all comes back in the later episodes. Like everything
Oh
comes
yeah,
full circle.
they definitely have the TV problem where since there's so many episodes, you'll watch an entire episode that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the overarching story. But if you miss that one detail that was a key detail, they're going to use that piece of information and wrap it into the overarching story, as in how to take out replicators, the Goa'uld, and can't say all the other names because the other people or the lady in the other room might hear me and then I would be spoiled.
But I mean, like, yeah, the whole point is good television, and good shows. The end of the show should always have like connect to the beginning. It should all make sense and all come full circle. My favorite examples to use is always Breaking Bad because I can remember that a lot more. Stargate, once again, I have to rewatch because, like I said, there's so much shit going on in that show. But with Breaking Bad, for instance, I think it was in like season 4, uh, Walter White is given a gift by Jesse, and it's a watch. And when you watch the final episode, he puts that watch on a phone booth and makes a phone call or whatever. He takes it off. And it's very important because like it leads to what happens at the end of the show. And it's like a little shit like that. Like you would think a watch wouldn't make a difference, wouldn't be part of the whole plot of the last episode, but it plays a big role in what happens at the end of that the series. And my God, if you guys haven't seen that, fucking watch Breaking Bad. It's like one of the best dramas ever made. But I mean, you know, when a director or a writer cares that much where they make everything make sense by the end of the show, it's something special. And Stargate did that. Like they even did like three fucking movies that tied like the
I mean, they
legacy
did
and
two.
no, didn't
I
they do a
don't,
third one? There's the Arc of Truth, the
and
what was
Continuum.
Continuum.
The third
No, there was
movie is
another
the
one.
original movie.
No, the
No, the
original
third
movie.
movie was supposed to be the Atlantis movie, and then it got canceled.
No, wasn't it? Oh, it was like a web thing. Uh,
Are you
because
talking
we
about
talked
the
about that.
web series? Oh my God. Yeah, they took the web series and they compiled all of the short episodes into a movie called
Yeah, so
Stargate
we can count that as a
Origins.
movie.
Okay, but it's not designed to be a movie, guy. All they did was take the little things and mash them together. That's not a movie.
Well, once again, we're arguing semantics.
So are you going to tell me that when they take the Snyder cut and they chop it into six parts, you're going to tell me it's a six-part movie?
No, it's this one movie. It's still a
It's
movie.
it's not a movie if it's in six parts, guy. If I have to wait a week to watch another part, that's not a movie.
Okay, but when they inevitably release it on DVD,
Here,
it will be
here's a good
one giant
example.
movie.
Here's a real good example. The, I believe it's 80s miniseries, It and It Too, right? That's a
Yeah,
miniseries for television because of its length. Whereas the new movies are not miniseries because of their length. They are designed to be films. The other one is not.
yeah, okay.
You
But
can't tell me that's something that's literally cut up because we're not talking like, oh, well, Back to the Future Part 2, Back to the Future Part 3. So you telling me that's all one movie?
no, because those are separate films.
Oh, so then six separate installments of the Snyder Cut makes it one movie? Because that's exactly the same, guy. It's going to be Snyder Cut Part 1, Snyder Cut Part 2, Snyder Cut Part 3. Are you still around?
Fair enough. Timon Flip made an excellent point. He said Daniel was in Burn Notice. I know. I just finished watching that. That was season two. He was a bad guy, and by the way, probably one of the best.
Oh, he's a
Like,
bad guy in some other show that I
recurring.
just seen him in too. I don't remember what it was.
Yes,
He's a
we all
stalker.
love. He's a very talented actor. But, anyways, I'm going to end this here because fuck, I've got to
Finally.
wake up at 5. Um, just to let you guys know, tomorrow, me and Father Zod will be talking about the polls and how rigged they are and false. It's going to be a serious debate. I'm going to rope a certain co-host into that. He's not aware of it till now.
Huh, strange. Who'd you get for
Oh, I don't know. Might be someone who's on this show.
that? Interesting.
But yeah, we're gonna be talking about it's gonna be our Phantom Zone news podcast, and we're gonna be talking about how grossly inaccurate the polls are, even from your favorite newscaster. Every poll is somehow slanted and or not correct, and we're gonna be deep diving into the statistics and all that stuff. As usual, Father Zod has a overwhelming amount of paperwork and shit that he gathered. So it's going to be interesting. And then me and Stevie J will be talking about on Sunday the most underrated horror movie of all time, Wolf Creek. And we're going to be talking about how brilliant that movie is. And if you haven't seen it, you should watch it because we're definitely going to spoil the shit out of that movie. Um, anyways, PV, what do you got going on?
People need to go to my Twitter to vote in the poll that I put up. It's a very simple question. Which Star franchise has the best main character? And there are four to
Yeah, I
choose
saw
from.
that poll. I saw that poll. You know what I voted for? I voted for Stargate.
Aha.
You
I'm not
know,
allowed to vote in my own poll, but that's what I would have voted for as well. But it's
I
about the character, not about the entirety of the show or story or whatever you'd like to call it.
you know when I first saw it, I thought I was gonna go Luke for Star Wars, but I wind up going Stargate. I don't know. It's one of those weird things.
Now, last time I checked, Luke Skywalker was destroying the competition,
Yeah,
but
yeah, he was.
that doesn't necessarily surprise me. I give it
No,
time. I put it for 2 days, so what? That'll be Sunday night. It should be over, and then I'll probably make a video talking about it and, give you my feelings on why all of my followers and subscribers are wrong.
oh, PB, always a man of
Except for
controversy.
Timon.
Anyways,
Timon and I agree. I don't know if anybody else in there voted for the same person I voted for, but he did.
I like Timon for General Zod's Phantom Zone, not irrational. That's probably the first time someone's going to tell me I said something that's not irrational. But yeah, I've had a great time. Thank you, everybody. We've had a hell of a turnout for Phantom Zone news with my dad. Everybody likes Admiral Zod, so I appreciate the love that you guys are showing the channel. I got some new updates coming. I'm getting a laptop, so I'm gonna be shooting a lot of stuff. I got some video editing
So,
software.
was your dad
So,
in the Navy?
no,
Was he in the Army?
no, I am me and my grandfather are the only people in my family to be in the service. So
Okay.
my grandfather was in the army.
Well, I just find it funny that you were in the Navy, but you're a general.
Yeah, kind of kind of weird,
It's
but
hilarious.
we're all about the humor here. So, anyways, thank you everybody. We appreciate it. Uh, you guys, I appreciate everyone who showed up. We've had some pretty good turnout for our shows,
Yeah,
and
Timon, Generation Productions, Jamie Vick, Shadow Man. Who else was here?
Comics
I
Chat,
know there was a couple other people. Comic Chat,
Lemon Pie.
Lemon Pie was here earlier. And that's if I didn't say your name, you have right now. Oh, Stone Cold Jammy. I knew I was forgetting another one. I feel terrible now.
But no, thank you everybody who's been on the channel, who's been supporting us. And honestly, this is why I'm still up when I have to wake up at 5. I love doing this. I love bullshitting with you guys, and everyone just have a awesome night. Uh, you know, take care of yourselves and each other. Good night.
What the hell kind of outro was that?